All the friendlies played, over £74 million spent in the transfer window. That can only mean one thing's left to do, and that is to kick off the new Premier League season. Hello there and welcome to episode 8 of Let's Go Villa. I'm Stu, thank you for joining me in today's video where we're going to be playing against Sheffield United and Leicester in the opening 2 games of the Premier League season. If that sounds like fun to you and you want to see us get 3 points from both of those games, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any lovely Football Manager content from yours truly. Since you were last with us, we've finished the last couple of friendlies, we're here for the first game of the season and we've made one more transfer as well. Not the last transfer, there is another one in the offing, but we have brought in Christopher I. You knew this one was happening. He's in the club. 22 million plus John McGinn. So John McGinn did agree to go the other way in the end. Finally got him off the books. We've also let Bertrand Traore go. He's gone to Crystal Palace on loan. They're covering 80% of his wages. But most importantly, there's a mandatory purchase fee of 17.75 million, which means we made a profit on him. Results. But yes, Aya is in. He's just got a little bit of a knock, so he's not going to be playing in this first game, but I think he's going to be absolutely solid in the defence. And to be honest with you, in the midfield as well, if we need to use him as a central midfielder, as a ball winner, that's not a problem at all. I am very happy with that as an option if we need it to happen. Couple of things we need to be aware of though. Thing number one, Kamara is still not overly happy. He wants someone to come in and pay £64 million for him. Monaco are in for him. We'll get on to Monaco in a second as well. But if we do lose him, the fact that we got Aya in, I'm okay because it means we could look for another central defender if we wanted to, as well as another central midfielder. So we've got options there. The reason why I say keep Monaco in mind, Leon Bailey, currently on his way out to Monaco for £45.5 million. Now, it's nowhere near as much as I would like to get for him. I'd like to get over £60 million for him. But it is over the amount that we paid for him. And also, he's unhappy. He wants £150,000 a week. I am prepared to pay that for him, if I'm being completely honest with you. I do not think he is worth that level of money. That's just my own personal opinion. It is what it is. But with that money, might be signing this guy. Pedro Gonçalves, we've offered him a contract. He has agreed it in principle for £30 million. We will be paying him a lot of money a week, a similar amount of money to what Leon Bailey wants, but I just think he's so much more of a player. Now, he is ideally a central midfielder, an attacking midfielder, or a right-sided midfielder. We're actually going to train him to play on the left-hand side because I think cutting in as an inverted winger, he's got a great finish, he's got great ability on the ball. I think he could do a really good job there. So we're going to hope and see whether he trains well there. Hopefully he will, but he looks like the absolute business. Never used him in FM. Very excited to see what he looks like. So we're going to wait and see for that transfer to come through. And that's why we've not sold Leon Bailey yet. That's why he's in the squad for today's game. Speaking of which, today's game, and this is the 11 we're going to be using to hopefully beat newly promoted Sheffield United. It's Martinez in goal, Cash, Konsa, Carlos and Digne in defence, Vitinha and Burge in the midfield with Palmer, Buendia and Bogger supporting Watkins up front. Aya is injured, Douglas Luiz has just come back from injury as well, and Danny Ings has literally just returned to. He's recommended only 45 minutes of action. He has played some under 23 minutes, but he's still not fully there yet. But I think this 11 is going to be good enough to get something from this game. The only players who are on a heavy workload are Matty Cash and Buendia. We could swap them out, but I'm going to leave it and see just how we do. In fact, I'm just thinking, why are we playing Jeremy Bogger when Coutinho's there? Why are we doing what? Stu, come on. Coutinho's got to play. Without any further ado, let's get to the game and let's see whether we can get 3 points on the opening day of the season. Let's go. I can't speak. I'm so excited. 2 interesting things to point out in this game. Interesting thing number one. Anel Amadozic does play for Sheffield United. He is one of their defenders. We did try and sign him earlier in the season. He was originally the player we wanted instead of Christopher Aya. We hadn't identified Aya at the time, but he's the first person we wanted to be that new defender. Also interesting, Sander Burge. This is the club we signed him from, so it's interesting to see how he's going to get on against his former club. And Felipe Coutinho nearly justifying his selection into the team there with an absolutely wonderful curling effort. The one thing I will say is by bringing in Gonçalves, it's going to be very interesting to see who gets the most game time between him, Coutinho, Palmer, and Ollie. all of the wingers, all the guys who play out wide, because Gonçalves is predominantly a right winger or an attacking midfielder. We're going to have a really interchangeable front three behind the striker. I'm really intrigued to see how that works. I think it can work. I think it will be really good. But I'm intrigued to see how it works in practice rather than just in theory. It might be one big player too many, but I do think he'll be a superstar for us. It is also worth pointing out he has got a release clause in the contract we've offered him. It's £80 million or £85 million, something like that. So it's a lot of money. Bearing in mind, it's over double what we're paying for him. I wouldn't obviously, if he turns out to be an absolute superstar, I don't want to lose him. But if he turns out to be a relatively good player and we get that offer in for him, I'm not going to say no. And we are just getting so unlucky here at the moment. We are having chance after chance. And we just cannot put the ball in the back of the net. But it's good to see we're putting them under pressure. And I'm sure if we carry on playing this way, the goal will come. But we do need to carry on playing this way. Now, Martinez gets it out wide to Lucas Digne. Digne has been superb for us so far. You watch, I've said that. He's going to make a mistake now. Burge gets it back to Diego Carlos, into Vitinha. I'm intrigued to see how Vitinha plays in this team, actually. He looks great on paper, but I don't know, sometimes players look great on paper and they just do not work very well. Watkins is in here though, and Johnston makes the save. Of course, former Villa goalkeeper Sam Johnston. He's done a tour around the Midlands a little bit as well. Obviously, formerly of Manchester United. Digne now whips in, looking for Carlos, cannot find him. Johnston claims the ball, and it is still 0-0 after a relatively action-packed first 10 minutes. You just love to see it. Right, Digne heads it down. Coutinho now into Buendia. Buendia looking for options, sprinting forward, looking to try and whip the ball in. Gets it onto his right foot. Back to Digne, into Burge. Coutinho, Vitinha. Vitinha goes for the shot. And that is a superb goal. And it's a debut goal for Vitinha. Let's watch that again. I really enjoyed it. This is superb. So, Buendia runs all the way down to the touchline, cuts back at the last minute, gets to Digne, one touch, gets a little touch to control it, goal. Beautiful from Vitinha. Lovely little bit of teamwork as well in there. Lovely one-touch passing. We do finally lead by one. Let's say finally, with less than 15 minutes on the clock and we're ahead. Good times. Very good times indeed. Let's get another one. I would like to see us get to. That'd be superb. Probably won't get one now, probably finish 1-0. Good tackling there from the Sheffield United defence, and Bruce is now on the ball looking to get it forward. Gets it back to Amadozic, actually. Again, I know I've mentioned it before, player who we have looked at previously, just was a bit too expensive for us. So he's not going to be someone we're going to be getting anytime soon, I don't think. It could be one for the future if he continues to develop. Right, Norman gets it out wide, Sansone, looking for options, gets it back to Mitchell. Did look at Mitchell as well as a potential left back before we ended up going with, forgive me, the guy who we ended up signing, I can't remember. And Matthias Norman, what a goal it is. Keita Balde with the assist as well. Absolutely superb. I'm a little bit frustrated with that. We're going to tell the boys to step things up a little bit. We did kind of let that happen. I'd rather us not let that happen, if that's okay, boys. Let's step things up. That's their first shot. We've had loads. Let's put them under a bit more pressure, shall we? Because right now we're level and we should not be. We should be absolutely battering them. Right, Consa heads it down to Burge. Burge gets to Buendia. Buendia. Lovely pass to Watkins. Watkins to Coutinho. Into Vitinha. Is he going to get his second? No, he's not. Sam Johnson's going to save. It is going to be yet another corner. And hopefully Consa and Carlos can get on the end of this. Now, they're not the tallest central defenders. I've got to say, our set pieces are really set up for both Tyrone Mings and Christopher Ayer. They're the two who are going to get the most out of this. We're not playing either of them today. I'll be honest with you. Defensively, Consa and Carlos have been a better defensive pairing. But as an offensive pair, I would say the others are better. Ollie Watkins puts us back ahead. That makes me feel a little bit better. And it's an assist from Go PARMA as well. I genuinely think next season, if we keep the nucleus of this squad together, I'm looking at Go PARMA, I'm thinking, whatever transfer budget we get next season, we might spend it on him if he continues doing things like that. That's a lovely little pass, and it's a lovely little goal. Ollie Watkins gets his first of the season. 2-1 ahead against Sheffield United. Should be 2-0, in my opinion. In fact, looking at the amount of shots we've had, it probably should be more than 2-0. But I'll take getting a win, or at least looking like we're going to get a win. And Coutinho manages to get it in there, and it is 3-1. Go PARMA with another assist, and Go PARMA is having a lovely, lovely time, and so am I. Game on, 3-1, happy days. Let's just see the game out, shall we? I'd love a couple more goals, but I'll take it. Remember, we opened the season last year against, I think it was West Ham, with like 5-1 or 6-1 or something daft like that. So We've got precedent for an opening day thumping of a team. I like it. I very much like it. I like it when we thump a team. That one moment of just defensive naivety certainly looks like a one-off at the moment. A bit of a fluke, but we cannot be complacent. We need to make sure we keep our heads and we do not let them get another one, because if they get another one, all of a sudden things get a bit nervy. Right, lovely little passing from us to keep possession here. It would be nice for us to actually be a bit more progressive. When Diem hangs onto the ball there really well, gets to Carlos now to Consa, Vitinha, who's looked really good so far, not just because of the goal, but he's actually looked really composed on the ball. Gets it to Coutinho, Digne now looking to cross it in, gets it into Buendia. Buendia's been knocked down. It is a penalty, and it's Amadozic, the guy who we tried to sign earlier in pre-season, does give away a penalty. I mean, trying to endear yourself to our fans and say you want to join us, that's a good way to do it. Not saying that is it, but that is a good way to do it. Right, who is taking the penalty? Is it Digne? It's Palmer. Cole Palmer with the penalty. And, well, yeah. It looked like a Cole Palmer penalty, if I'm honest with you. And Ollie Watkins did an absolutely wonderful dive there. And it is still 3-1. To be fair, Danny Ings is normally our penalty taker. He's not on the pitch today. I could understand why maybe that was a bit difficult, but I'll let him off as he's had those 2 assists. 3-1 at half-time. Delightful. I want more. Not going to lie. I want to see more goals from this team because we've got them in us. Right, let's get another, shall we? Right, Carlos. Gets to Consa. Consa to Vitinha. Vitinha now looking up. Gets it to Matty Cash. Matty Cash into Palmer. Palmer looking for options. Going to try and drive into the box. Switches to his left foot. Ollie Watkins is there. Puts it in the back of the net. There is a question of offside. The referee is going to listen to the little man in his ear. And we're going to see whether the little man in his ear agrees or disagrees that that should be a goal. I personally think it should be a goal. Shows what I know. Shows what I know. No third assist for Cole Palmer. No assist hat-trick for him. And no goal for Ollie Watkins. I mean, it is offside. Not by a lot, but it is offside. I'll give them that. I'll absolutely give them that. Right, it is a throw in. Tyreek Mitchell now with the throw. Gets it to Keita Balde. Balde now. Driving inside. We're struggling to deal with him driving inside. Ryan Brewster into Sansone. And Martinez does end up having to make the save. And it is going to be a corner to Sheffield United. Hopefully it's not one that turns into a goal. Otherwise I'll be very cross. Sansone whips it in. He's looking for the far post. It's flicked out. Only as far as Ryan Brewster though. Ryan Brewster into Jaden Bogle. Bogle now looking to get it in. Vitinha with the great tackle. And we managed to somehow clear it. I was a bit worried when Vitinha went in there. Ended up being a great tackle from him. So fair play to him. Absolutely fair play. We are approaching substitute o'clock. So we will see what we can do to freshen things up a little bit. Not that we really need to. We've done really well so far. But we'll let this highlight play out first. Building from the back. Matty Cash now into Vitinha. Matty Cash, remember, kind of playing for his position. We've signed Paulo Maffeo. And Paulo Maffeo has the right to be the first choice starter. I do think there's going to be a lot of rotation between the two, and it is going to be based on form more than anything. So he's got a bit to prove, Matty Cash, because there were times last season where he did dip out of form and didn't look that good. Speaking of not looking good, that wasn't great from us, but we do recover it well. Palmer now looking to get the ball into Watkins. Ollie Watkins looking to go around his defenders. He's done it really well there, but he cannot get the finish. He's just struggling to get past those defenders today. Everyone else seems to be doing it absolutely fine. I say that, he has actually scored earlier in the game. I should really remember that. Right, changes aplenty. I think we're going to bring Jacob Ramsey on. Let's give him some football. We'll take off Emi Buendia. Not had the best game, Emi, but we'll let him off. It's absolutely fine. Boubacar Kamara can come on as well. Oh, God, that's not what I wanted to click. We still have all of our substitutions, don't we? Yeah, we do. 5 substitutions. That's great. So I'm just thinking, maybe we bring Danny Ings on for a bit. Let's give him some football. He needs a bit of recovery, so we will do that. And then we'll leave things at that and bring people on a little bit later. I say a little bit later, in like 10 minutes' time. Heard a squealer, by the way. I think there's cats fighting outside my room. Did I not know I'm recording a Football Manager video? Right, last 10 minutes. Let's make another change, or 2. Possibly 2. I think 2 makes sense. I don't really know what to do, actually, because I want a right winger like Pedro Gonçalves, but we don't have a right winger like Pedro Gonçalves, which is a bit frustrating, so can't really do that. I mean, we could bring Leon Bailey on, but I don't really want to bring Leon Bailey on. Can Joey Bogger play there? He can kinda play there. I mean, Coutinho can play there. Huzzah! Coutinho solves all the problems. We'll make him that, and then for my final trick, we'll bring on we bring on one of the fullback guys? I think we do. I think we do. Buffett's played more football than Bjorkan, so we'll bring Bjorkan on for Digne. Give him some football. Seems like the fairest thing to do. Right, don't impress me in like the 8 minutes that you've got. Drop a bit of praise towards the end of the game as well. It's been a nice, solid performance from us. Again, we're playing a team that won the championship last year. They're going to have that promotion bounce, and we have dealt with them well. They did score that equaliser, which did make it look a bit interesting, but really, after that, there was no concern at all. 3-1, that'll do. That'll do plenty. Right, we'll go ahead to the Leicester game, and hopefully between now and then, Gonçalves will sign, Leon Bailey will go, and I'll be very, very happy. We have our man, Pedro Gonçalves, is in the club, and he's in time for the Leicester game as well. £30 million well spent. Profit made when you compare him to the sale of Leon Bailey. Obviously, 40-something, £42.5 million, I think that one was. So we've made a profit in terms of swapping one player out for another one. He's on a pretty penny a week. He's on £125,000 a week, but I mean, look at him. He's worth it, and he's gonna get better. I know he says his potential's maxed out. I'm convinced he is gonna get better. He looks the business already. The only problem is gonna be exactly where he plays, because we've been using Felipe Coutinho on the left-hand side so far this season, and he's looked really good there. He isn't going to play in the middle, realistically. He can play in the middle there, and we can move Buendia out wide, but Buendia's been really good in the middle last season, so I'm kind of below to do that. But he can play out wide as well, as an inside forward, as an inverted winger, as a normal winger as well. I'd probably want to play him as someone cutting inside. He has got the feet to do it, so it's going to be interesting to see exactly where he falls in. I've got a feeling he's going to end up being our new attacking midfielder, and Buendia's going to go inside. We've got plenty of options. That's the thing. And also, Coutinho can be the deep line playmaker as well, so he can play there. So, plenty of options. But all of that is irrelevant, because today we're playing against Leicester, and this is the 11 we're going to be using to hopefully get 3 points against them. It's Martinez in goal, Maffeo, Aya, Mings and Digne in defence, Vitinha and Berge in the midfield, with Parma, Buendia and Coutinho supporting Watkins up front. The defensive duo are trio actually, including Maffeo. Those three are the players who have changed. We've changed the entire three on the right-hand side and in the middle of the defence, just to freshen things up and give these guys a bit of a run-out, basically. We want to give Aya some game time. Maffeo, we want to give him a chance as well. So I thought, why not just do it? Why not just do it? Gonçalves is on the bench. He's not fully fit. Neither is Danny Ings, but he's there as well. Douglas Luiz as well. Both of those guys played in the under-23s to get a bit of fitness. So we'll see how they do. It's Bjorkan and Konsa who miss out on the game. Let's just get to the game and see whether we can continue our good start, shall we? Let's go. I believe we should do well in this game. However, it does have to be said, Leicester's 11 still has a couple of really good players in there. Jamie Vardy is still going really strong, so it cannot be underestimated just how good he still is. Tielemans is still there, and Ndidi is still there. They've got Patson Daka up front. There are good players in there. But we have to believe our team is better, surely, especially with the new additions to not just the first 11, but the squad in general. We have made this team better, and I'd like to think that we've got enough to get past this Leicester team. Even at the King Power, I'd like to think we've got enough to get past them. Vitinha with a great ball there to Coutinho. Digne now looking to get the ball back to Coutinho. Can't quite get there. James Maddison is someone I was considering earlier in the window. We ended up just not going for him, and I'm not regretting that decision, to be honest with you. I actually think we've done better to go for the players that we've got, and also I think we've ended up spending far less money than we would have done were we looking to get James Maddison, because English players go for a premium. Jamie Vardy out on the right-hand side. I mean, it's another world. It's another world. We have started off the much better team so far, but we've not had a shot on target. Leicester at this moment haven't had a shot at all. Usually when I say that, it changes. But instead we've got a corner. It's Lucas Digne to take, looking for Aya. And Aya, that is why we've got him on near post corners, because we know he can be absolutely superb there. We're just going to tell Lucas Digne to calm down. We don't want any silly red cards or second yellows or anything like that. We just don't want to risk it. Coutinho does really well to nick the ball off of Vardy there. Gets it back to Digne. Digne now in the middle to Vitinha. Vitinha going to Mings. Mings now over to Aya. Aya. Berge to Coutinho looking for options, get it into Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins makes it 1-0. That will do plenty. And that is where I probably should have thought about where I was going to play Gonçalves, because Coutinho is absolutely tearing it up. I've got it in my head that Coutinho isn't very good out on the left-hand side. it's a silly notion because it's purely from the Parma save. He was much better in the middle, either as an attacking midfielder, a central midfielder on attack, or a deep line playmaker. We tried him out wide, it didn't work. We avoided using him out wide last season, but actually when he played out there, he did play alright. So I think we're going to be in a position here where we've got 4 very good players who can play in 3 positions, and then we've just got Berger as well, who can just fill in. It's 1-0 at half time. Very happy with that. Very happy indeed. Let's go in and see whether we can do it again in the second half. That's what I'd like to do. But yeah, it does kind of feel like we've got 4 very good players who can fit in 3 positions. Although Coutinho, as previously mentioned, can play as a playmaker, so we could do that. Aya trying to head it back across goal to try and find someone. Buendia gets the ball, and Parma trying to drive it in. Couldn't quite keep it low enough, and it ends up going out of play. Here's a free kick though, James Maddison for Leicester, and it's really poor from Emi Martinez, and James Justin has made it 1-1. We are going to demand more from the boys. My light's just gone off. Not a clue what happened there. The light just decided to go off, but I've turned it back on, and it's still 1-1, so not a very well defended free kick, it has to be said. Martinez just needing to just calm himself down a bit. We are going to demand a bit more from him because that was very, very poor. We need a bit more from our goalkeeper there. Cannot be getting beaten like that. That's really poor. Burns had a really bad game. In fact, both of the midfielders have not done very well today. So we are going to make a change. We're going to make the double change of Kamara on for Berge. And we're actually going to move Coutinho into the midfield. And we're actually... Do we bring Gonçalves on? Do we bring Gonçalves on? I mean, we could. We could. I mean, does it make sense to bring him on there? I mean, it's him or it's Jeremy Berger. We're bringing Gonçalves on. He's not fully fit. We'll give him a run out. We're going to give him a run out. We're going to demand a bit more as well. Come on, boys. Let's try and get another goal. I'm tempted to go attacking as well because actually we've been much better than this Leicester team. We're going to do exactly that. We're going to have a look at a couple more substitutions. We've got 3 left. Do we want to make any more? Coutinho is actually tiring, so Douglas Luiz is going to come on for his first appearance of the season. We're then going to bring Boga on. So the experiment of Gonçalves on the left has not lasted. And then for my final trick, I'm not going to bring Martinez off, although the temptation is there. It is very much there, I've got to be honest with you. Do you know what? I think we're going to leave it. I don't want to take Ollie Watkins off, so I think that's the only other thing I would do. I'd want to bring Danny Ings on, but we're going to keep things as they are, and hopefully see if we can steal a goal. Right, Mings to Aya. Aya now. Gets to Coutinho. Kamara. Buendia. Looking for Pedro Gonçalves, who just... You wonder whether he was fully fit. Would he be able to get on the end of that? Would he have the pace to do it? I don't know. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. They do launch it forward, though. Looking for Munir. Oh, Maffeo completely misses it there. And Munir is in. Munir whipping it. Looking for Patson Daka. Mings heads it away there. Gets to Pedro Gonçalves. And Pedro now looking to burst forward. Running down that left-hand side. He is running like there is no tomorrow. But James Maddison with the tackle. But Buendia gets the ball. It's bobbling about all over the place. But Gonçalves gets it into Buendia. Buendia tries to get it into Watkins, but he can't. And it is going to be a corner. And those changes are now going to come into effect. And the corner does not even get a highlight. Well, that's disappointing. Maffeo's coming off just because I'm a little bit concerned by the way that he just gave the ball away, if I'm being honest. Not happy about that at all. What we are going to do, though, if I can, is we are going to do the old thing of dropping Kamara back. And we are going to just drive the team forward. So we've got the one guy holding back a little bit. And the rest of the team pressing forward. Let's just see whether we can get a late goal. Aya has been knocked down. That's got to be a penalty. It is a penalty. I say that. It's not been given yet, but it's got to be a penalty, surely. It is indeed. Right, who takes it? Is it Palmer again? I think it is. It's Cole Palmer. It is. He missed one in the last game. He does the same again. Right, Cole Palmer, you're off penalties. Oh, my word. You're off penalties. I've encouraged the boys for the last few minutes. A draw against Leicester is not a bad result. But I'm a little bit disappointed with the chances that we've had, with the chances that they've had, that we could not get past them. It's at the King Power. We're away from home. We've got a point against a team that we know has got a lot of quality. We'll say it was just one of those days. Cole Palmer, I think, has proven that he cannot do penalties. I think we've acknowledged that now. think we very much acknowledge that. Oh boy, right, I'm changing that before I forget anything, because I will just not do it. He's our second, apparently he's our second best penalty taker. I don't see it, if I'm honest. I really don't see it. Right, Coutinho. I mean, Aya can be next. I think Ollie Watkins can be after him. Yeah, Cole Palmer goes all the way down there just for that. Well, we're undefeated. Return to English football. Oh yeah, he played at Wolves. I forgot that he played at Wolves. Well, we're unbeaten after our first 2 games. We have to look at that as a positive. I would have liked to have gotten 3 points from that game, but it was not to be. So at the end of the first 2 games, the table looks like this. Obviously, all the teams have not played yet, but we are in second place. In second place, we're in 4th place after 2 games. I was looking at number 2. That's what confused me. And Ollie Watkins is the joint top goal scorer of the league with 2 goals. That is always good to see. But it is all early days, so do remember that. Right, when are we going to be back? I think we'll try and do what we did last time, although we do have the Champions League to come in. And Champions League at the moment is not showing up on here, which I'm assuming is just because it's not been drawn yet. But I don't even see the spots for it, which is a bit of a concern. We have had the EFL Cup draw, so, I mean, when is that going to happen? I mean, can we... Group stage draw 25th, so it's going to happen then. So, we are in the Champions League. Yeah, we're there. Entering the group stage. Okay, so it is going to happen. So, we just haven't had the draw for it yet, and it is there as an option. So, we'll come back around when the Champions League is going to happen. I imagine it's going to be towards the end of September, beginning of October, or even just in October. But we'll judge it when we get that draw, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see how we do. But hopefully by then, Pedro Gonçalves will be firing, and we'll have lots of points on the board. That's the hope. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any lovely football content from this face right here. I've been Stubo, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.